Hello everyone, my name is the Salty Scientist. Today's video is going to cover some reputable sources and facts regarding Florida's current algae bloom, its extent, and its causes. This year has been an especially hard one for Florida. We've had severe blooms on both coasts for almost a year now. Both are harmful to people and wildlife. While statewide statistics are not available yet, here are some isolated examples that provide a window into the severity of this issue. So far, several thousand tons of sea life have been cleared from beaches. In August alone, 1,700 tons of dead sea life have been picked up on beaches in Lee County, located at the epicenter of the blooms. Over 400 sea turtles, 100 manatees, which were just taken off the endangered species by the way, and 11 dolphins have died. The economic losses are equally appalling. Over $4 million was lost on one island, Sanibel for those wondering, in July. Repeated blooms in 2 counties have reduced property value by almost $1 billion. And those 2 counties, I believe, are Lee and Martin counties. Additionally, 15 people have already been sent to the hospital due to the algae blooms as of July 31st. The cause of these blooms are primarily based on nutrients and flow changes in Florida. Besides the Florida population expanding 20-fold in the last 100 years, we've also lost half of our Everglades. I may not be a doctor, but I could imagine it's hard to live with half a liver. And it's also hard to filter nutrients with half of our wetlands. Making matters worse, water originally going to the Everglades has been sent east and west because the south is blocked by the Everglades Agricultural Area, or EAA. Before we go any further, I want to say that I genuinely have no animosity towards the people who have made their livelihoods in this area. The consequences of the sugar industry and our political climate is something I can be frustrated about, however. Approximately $60 million has been shoveled into politicians like Rick Scott, people who deny basic science and slash funding to environmental issues. And it is really a shame that the party that used to champion conservation, that saved species only a century ago, is now the same party that denies climate change, especially in a state like Florida that quite possibly has the most to lose. Anyway, well-respected researchers, including Dr. Bill Mitch, have stated that buying 100,000 acres of land, which is about 1/5 of the Everglades agricultural area, would resolve the flow and nutrient issues we've discussed. Unfortunately, Rick Scott appointed realtors and lawyers to the South Florida Water Management District, and they naturally rejected proposals to buy the land for environmental restoration. U.S. Sugar states, and I quote, that these radicals are blaming a single company, U.S. Sugar, for systematic regional problems wrought by over 100 years of change is utterly ridiculous, end quote. But these regional problems have been wrought in great part to the sugar industry, keeping the water flowing in the wrong direction, channelizing and polluting what remains while aggressively lobbying against change isn't solving the problem, to say the least. The results are clear. The green tide is a result of pollution and mismanagement, with Lake Okeechobee having upwards to 90% of its surface covered in green algae this summer, the same stuff that has contaminated the Caloosahatchee River. Red tides, although forming offshore, are intensified by nutrients we emit in Florida. This has increased greatly as the Caloosahatchee watershed has increased 4-fold and was forcefully channelized into Lake O. In 2007, 2 scientists at the University of Miami found that the red tide was 13 to 18 times more abundant from 1994 to 2002 versus 1954 to 1963. Moat Marine Lab states that nutrients can increase the length and severity of the bloom. The solution? Sending the water south and buying the land would be a great start. No solution will have immediate effects on the red tide, but the green tide can be significantly reduced with better management and the restoration of the Everglades ecosystem. I highly recommend you review the sources provided in the description. One of them is a great literature review on the economic costs of the red tide. Please let me know if there's something you want me to discuss or debunk or add more details to. Thank you so much. Have a great day.